This is Under the Mistletoe Mishap, Christmas Tree, Pennsylvania Sweet Holiday Romcom Short Read, Book 3. Written by Jessie Gussman. Performed by Jay Dyess. Episode 3. Chapter 11. Lucy.
I can't believe I'm having this conversation. It feels surreal, and I'm worried that I'm reading more into it than what Samuel actually means. I feel like he's interested in a real relationship. Could that be true? I've always admired him, from when I first started hearing that he was turning his life around. Doing something like that is not easy, especially when a person is already successful and what they're doing is working.
I don't want to keep you any longer,
he finally says. He sounds a little disappointed, like this conversation didn't turn out the way he was expecting it to. I think I'm being dismissed, though, except I get the feeling that he doesn't want me to go easily. He wants me to show a little bit of interest, too. Maybe that's my imagination, and I feel like he's used to women chasing after him. He's not used to women being totally immune to his charms. Not that I am. I have to do a sound check today. Would you be interested in doing it with me? I say, feeling like I am really putting myself out there. I know I'm tensed up, and I deliberately relax my muscles and try to think about cheesecake, but I'm holding my breath, waiting for his answer. A little bit of relief seems to steal across his face. Or maybe it's happiness. It's that quirking of his lips that indicates the man might be interested in smiling.
Sound check? I'd love to.
I nod my head and push to my feet. We can grab these things and take them back to the kitchen on our way outside. The guys were setting up as I walked in. They're not going to have everything ready, but the owner had told me that they had several other show obligations and would not be able to be back until the day of the party, so they were going to do their sound check today. I really need to get down there and make sure everything is good. While I trust the men I hired, it's my responsibility to make sure every detail is perfect. I reach down to grab the tray. I might as well take it to the kitchen on my way out.
Someone will get that,
Samuel says to me, and I pause. I don't want to argue with him. I'm headed right down toward the kitchen. It would probably save someone a trip if I take it myself. I don't mind at all. The sound guys probably won't be completely ready for me for another hour, and it would be good for me to familiarize myself with the area where the party's going to be.
I'm actually very familiar with the house. I could give you a tour.
My heart does a quick flip, and my chest expands. I wonder how many people get a personal tour of the place by Samuel himself. I'd love that, I say honestly. I know it's your brother's place, but Allison said that you spend a lot of time here and are thinking about spending more.
She's absolutely right about spending more. I grew up here, as you know, and I've always loved the town. It's a special place.
I agree. I can't imagine living in a town that didn't celebrate Christmas year-round. It seems so natural, even though I know that's not the normal everybody else lives in.
You can explain to me what's so special about Christmas.
He opens the door, and I carry the tray through, while he has both our plates in his hand. I like that not only did he go along with my suggestion, but he decided to help me. Are you serious? I ask as his question penetrates my mind. What's so special about Christmas? You mean he doesn't know?
Yeah, I'm serious. I guess I don't get all the hoopla and the parties and the money and the gifts and the commercialism. It feels like you don't really get a connection to what Christmas is all about, for real. I see.
I can totally understand what he's saying. I'm not going to be able to convince you any different. I am in agreement with you for the most part that everything is too commercialized. It's all about money or making a big splash, I say with a little laugh. I don't miss the irony, knowing that my job is to make a big splash at the party.
I guess I just want to focus on work, focus on getting things done. This whole needing to celebrate for a month or 6 weeks beforehand just doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's all about connection. People like to feel connected to each other. They like pretty things. They like to have a reason to celebrate and get together. I suppose you're right. Corporations capitalize on that, and they make money off of it. And why not? That's what corporations are supposed to do, right? And that gives people jobs. It stimulates the economy. We've reached the door to the kitchen, and he pushes it open. I chat a bit with the lady who takes the trays and cups, promising to come back and taste some of the things that she's working on making for the party.
I'll have her back this afternoon, but I'm giving her a tour of the grounds right now, and then she has a sound check.
Samuel says as he pushes the door open and holds it for me. I wave to the cook, who seems like a really sweet lady, and then walk through. It seems like you know her pretty well, I say casually as I wait in the hall for him to catch up to me and show me which way we're going.
I try to make sure that I know the people around me. I guess it's something I learned doing business. But the whole connection thing that you're talking about with Christmas makes sense to me.
I think that's why we celebrate things. It gives us a connection to the past, to the future, to our families and communities, and we love remembering. I think it probably did start out as Christians remembering and celebrating the birth of our Savior, but I think the nice thing about celebrations is everyone enjoys being included. Celebrations just bring people together in ways that we need as a human species.
We need connection.
Yeah, I can't quote you the scientific facts, but I know it's good for us. I know that when we don't have connections, we suffer, psychologically but also physically. I think I read somewhere that not having social connections is as bad for your health as smoking cigarettes or eating junk food.
Chapter 12. Samuel. She's agreed to walk with me and to spend the day with me, I think. I don't know what I did to convince her of that, but she's friendly and sparkly, and she's talking about the importance of human connection. Do you think that's only for extroverts? Do you think there are people who don't really need that?
I think it's a human need in general, just maybe some people need more of it than others. The way some people seem to require more sleep or that type of thing.
Maybe she's right. I guess I do long for connection, but not with a lot of different people. I'm happy just being connected with my family and keeping things on a business level for almost everyone else. But the connection is part of the reason that I love the small town. It's part of the reason that I'm doing this outreach.
I know you understand, even if it's not on an articulate level, the need for connection. After all, this party was your idea, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not mistaken, I say, and then I realize my words might have sounded a little short. But she doesn't seem to be offended. She seems to not be easily offended over everything. I love that. You don't seem to care that I don't always answer questions with a lot of words. She laughs as we reach the ballroom door and stand outside of it. I can hear the men inside talking as they set things up, and I don't really want to be with other people right now. I want to focus on Lucy.
I think that growing up, I struggled with that some. I got some good advice from my parents. My mom in particular told me that I needed to look at people and assume the best of them. Sure, they might disappoint me with the worst, but I need to give everyone the benefit of the doubt all the time. That's what I want done to me, right? And the golden rule is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If I want people to look at me and think the best, then that's what I need to do as I interact with the world.
I don't really like the idea that she's just thinking the best of me. Except, I love what that says about her. I think that explains why you're so bubbly and happy all the time. Maybe if we think the best about other people, it gives us more positive things to focus on, and we're not thinking the negative things all the time.
It definitely changes your brain when you focus on the good.
I know this is something I should do, and I also know that I've always wanted to spend time around people who make me a better person. Usually I'm focused on the business aspects, people who can teach me things, people who can help me navigate the business world better and show me more and better ways to make money. But I also like the idea of working on myself and becoming a better person. And being with Lucy is obviously a way to have that happen. Are you going to tell me what you have planned? I'm talking about the party. It's not really a huge change of subject. I just need some time to think. Plus, I love the way she talks, and the excitement that lights up her eyes, and the way she gets excited and happy. She just seems to be so animated, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Sure, I'd love to. I haven't been responsible for a whole lot of the planning in the house, since I was told that yesterday's party had to happen before I was allowed in.
I hope that wasn't a problem. That order didn't come from me.
It's not a problem at all. I'm just coordinating things. I was able to talk to your cook on the telephone, and while I'm in charge of the menu, I allowed all of that up to her, just asking her to cook things that have always been popular, and things that she knows will work well at a party. It seemed kind of silly for me to try to micromanage that when she has all the experience.
I'm impressed. That's how I try to handle my business. But I found that a lot of people, when they're given a little bit of power, they let it go to their head. They start thinking that they know better than everyone else around them, and they're unwilling to take advice or suggestions. It can be frustrating. But you seem to be the opposite, naturally wanting the input of others, and acknowledging their expertise. It's a humility that is uncommon in today's world, and it's impressive to me.
Well, thank you. I guess maybe it's part of that connection we were talking about, where it makes more sense to me to connect to people than it does to try to compete with them.
Ouch. She hit me where it hurts. I'm definitely competitive.
Sorry,
She says, smiling up at me and looking so happy, so amused, that I find myself wanting to smile. You know, every time I'm around you, you make me want to smile. I didn't mean to admit that, but I think my comment makes her happy.
That's a good thing. Smiling is good. I don't have the data in front of me again, but I do know that smiling is good for your health. Even the Bible says that a merry heart doeth good like a medicine.
There's a lot of wisdom in the Bible, I say, appreciating the fact that she can quote it. Let's go this way. I'll show you where our guests usually gather when we entertain inside and out. Chapter 13. Lucy.
Samuel has shown me all around the grounds, and I'm still feeling like this can't be real. This is Samuel Barrage, Allison's brother, and he's talking to me and interacting. And if that weren't weird enough, I find myself looking at his lips and watching him speak, but thinking about his kiss. What is wrong with me? The grounds are beautiful, though, and he is very knowledgeable about them. Obviously, it's his brother's house, but they researched it together, and he knows a lot of the history. I find it fascinating and could stand to listen a lot more. As it is, we're back in 2 hours for the sound check. I want the music to drift over the different areas where the guests will mingle outside. I have horse-drawn carriage rides planned, although they would be sleigh rides if we get any snow. But it's warm and there's no snow in the forecast. I go on about the other things I have planned, and he listens intently, like he's truly interested. This is such a beautiful place, and I'm so glad you're doing it. I end by saying, and I feel a little lame. We've both listened to the sound check, and now a song comes on through the speakers, something soft and slow, and I expect Samuel to answer me, but instead he says,
"Would you like to dance?"
My mouth opens, and my eyes open and close, and I cannot hide the fact that his question has thrown me for a loop.
"I'm sorry. That wasn't very professional."
He apologizes immediately, puts his hands behind his back, and starts to walk away. Wait! I sound a little breathless. He stops, but doesn't turn around. Samuel?
"No, I'm sorry. I don't usually have a problem like this. I'm not sure why I do today."
It's a good problem to have, in my opinion anyway, and I'm glad you have it. I would love to dance with you. Would you do me the honor, please? I'm not sure why I'm asking him. It's obvious that he regrets the question to me. But there's just something that tells me that he asked because he wanted to, and he still wants to, even though he feels like he crossed a line. I don't feel like there are any lines. Not like that. If we like each other, it shouldn't matter.
I don't want you to feel like you have to do something that you don't want to. I guess that's something that I've learned to be careful of, since I have money.
He scrunches up his face like he's apologizing for it.
People sometimes feel like they need to do whatever I want. They act like I'm on some kind of pedestal, and I don't want you to be dancing just because you feel like you have to.
I want to, I say, taking 2 steps toward him and putting my arms around his neck. I've surprised him, and I can feel him freeze under my hands. Then he relaxes and puts his arms around my waist.
Allison always talks about how honest you are. She says you never say what you don't mean.
I do, and she's right. I don't see the point in saying things I don't mean. I guess it can get you somewhere in the short run, but in the long run, it's like tearing down the boards of your house and burning them to keep yourself warm, and then you end up having no house. It's like taking that from your character and burning them, and you find out that you actually have no character in the long run. I don't know why I'm droning on about character, but he is nodding like he agrees with me, and I know he does. The change that happened in him was real.
It's just rare to find that in someone. Is it terrible to say I'm wickedly attracted to it?
He puts his hands on my waist, and we start swaying to the mood music. I feel comfortable in his arms, the way I did last night, when he talked to me. Although I'm much closer to his lips now, and it's hard not to remember that kiss. Character attracts me too, more so than any physical attribute could, and a lack of character is repellent, which I suppose is just as important to note.
I can't disagree with that,
he says, and I don't know whether he means to or not, but he tugs me a little closer, and my cheek leans against his chest while he rests his cheek on top of my head, and it feels like the rest of the world falls away. I know I have a job to do, and while I've done the bulk of the work previously, today's the day that I need to make sure that everything's going to come together. But it's hard to think about anything else other than spending time with Samuel. And I definitely don't want to step out of his embrace.
You fit perfectly. I always thought you would.
You've thought about this? I ask, unable to keep the surprise out of my voice.
I probably shouldn't admit that, should I? Chapter 14. Samuel. I feel so comfortable with Lucy that things keep coming out of my mouth that I probably should not allow to ever see the light of day. But I also know that sometimes you just have to speak the truth and let the chips fall where they will. If I don't tell Lucy how I feel, I might lose my chance. Someone like her isn't going to be single for long.
I think it's perfectly okay to admit, and I'm glad you did. I didn't know you very well since you were gone by the time Allison and I were in junior high, but I've admired you a lot over the years, particularly when you realized that you were going in the wrong direction and you wanted to turn your life around. That's not easy.
It was the right thing to do. I couldn't have a spiritual conversion without it coming out in my everyday actions.
A lot of people claim to.
She's right. Maybe that's part of the reason why it was so important to me to make sure that I showed it, because I'd seen people who hadn't, and rather than drawing people to Christ, they repelled them. I didn't want to be that kind of person. If I truly believed what I said I believed, then I should live that way. She doesn't say anything, and we fall into a comfortable silence. The song ends, and they don't play another one. I don't want to let her go, but I've run out of excuses to stand here and hold her. I take a step back, allowing my hands to slide slowly off her while hers fall from my neck. I feel cold and alone without them there, and I want to step back into her arms. Are you ready to do some taste testing? I say instead.
Just let me talk to these guys for a minute and confirm a couple of things, and then I'll be ready.
We walk over. I stand back while she handles things. She's not a suave and sophisticated business person. She is friendly with the guys and has them laughing, but not in a flirty or suggestive way. She knows how to make fun of herself, and to me, self-deprecating humor shows a strength and confidence that people who can't make fun of themselves don't have. I love that Lucy does have it, but she doesn't come off as arrogant or prideful. She just comes off as very humble but knowledgeable. And funny. She brightens my life the way she brightens rooms, and I can see her having that effect on these guys too. They're smiling as we walk away, and so is she. I don't know how you do that with people.
Do what?
She asks, like she didn't just spend the last 10 minutes making those guys' day brighter by her very presence. Even though they're doing a job, and she made a few corrections, she didn't do it in such a way that they seemed resentful or angry about them. I know, from experience, that takes talent. You corrected those guys without them even really realizing it. By the time you left, all of them were still smiling. That's not something just anyone can do. She doesn't seem to get it, and I hold the door as we walk back into the house. The warm air hits us, and I realize that it is cold outside. Funny that I don't notice when I'm with Lucy. She keeps me warm.
Oh my goodness, It smells amazing in here,"
Lucy says as she waits for me to come through. And that's another thing I really love about her. She doesn't just take off. She shows not deference exactly, but a willingness to walk beside me rather than in front of me, when she's the one who's supposed to be in charge. But she never takes that and runs with it. She uses her authority in a way that makes everyone feel included, although there's never any doubt about this being her job. It does. I can't wait to see what they're going to have us tasting. Although, I'm still full from breakfast. I don't know if I'm still full from breakfast or I'm just not hungry. I didn't lose my appetite exactly. I just want Lucy. And the fact that I want her more than food says a lot.
"That's funny. I'm starving. I think being outside in the cool air, walking around, or I don't know,"
she says, lifting a shoulder and giving me a happy glance, like she's totally content and satisfied, even though I know she's feeling stress about the gala. We go into the kitchen, and the cook has an entire tray full of things for us to taste. She's obviously been working on it since we stopped in.
"I hope you guys brought your appetite,"
she says, nodding at the tray as she lifts the lid.
"We put out all of our best for you. Now, if there's anything you decide that you don't think we should have, or if there's anything you think we ought to have a lot of, we'd love to have your opinion."
She doesn't stand over us, though, but sets the lid down, points out that everything is labeled so we can know what we're trying, and then walks back to the oven, opening the door to check something.
"Wow, I don't even know where to start,"
Lucy says as she looks at the spread of food in front of her and picks up one of the 2 plates.
"Have you had any of this before?"
she asks. I've had it all, but I hate to say that, because it's almost like rubbing in how different we are. I don't want us to be different. I want us to have everything in common. But that's ridiculous. We're as different as 2 people can be. And the way she brings people together, I'm starting to feel like it doesn't matter. Chapter 15. Lucy.
My plate is full as Samuel leads me over to a small table where we sit down. I try to take just a tiny bite of everything so I won't get full as I eat. I try to remind myself that this is not for pleasure, this is business. But Samuel's not acting like it's business. He's acting like he's pursuing me, like he wants me. It's a heady feeling, to be honest. I suppose it makes me feel powerful in a way, but also humble. That someone as brilliant and amazing and successful and with as much character and integrity as Samuel thinks I am worth pursuing. I know he's not a player. I've been friends with Allison for long enough to know that he doesn't mess with people, and he doesn't lead women on, only to break their hearts. In fact, after several women were obviously only after him for his money, he had given up on dating completely, from what Allison has said. So this is unexpected and a little shocking, but still, I have to admit it's welcome. "I really like this," I say, pointing to something that seems like lasagna.
That's Flora's specialty. I don't think we've ever had a sit-down meal that didn't include Cook's 3-meat and 5-cheese lasagna.
"That's what it's called?" He nods, taking his off his plate and putting it in his mouth.
It tastes the same every time. I don't know how she does it, but I could eat this stuff for the rest of my life.
Same? Wow. Everything on the tray is delicious. There are things I've never heard of, things that seem fancy, and then paired with the very common, very everyday lasagna that was anything but everyday. It just feels like a mix of fancy and approachable. I think she's planned this out perfectly, I say as Samuel looks at me with a lifted brow. I can read that expression. He wants me to go on. Just, she has something for everyone. Something to make people feel comfortable, something to make them feel pampered, and everything tastes so delicious it's almost unbelievable.
I hadn't noticed that until you said it, but I guess you're right. She's got fancy little things that take forever to make, and no one would actually have on their supper table, and things that everyone has eaten a time or two. But she's made it all in such a way that it all feels like you're being spoiled in the best kind of way.
I nod and think I feel like I'm being spoiled in the best kind of way by Samuel, too. We finish up eating and take our plates back to the kitchen, where I talk to Flora, complimenting her and what she's done and telling her that I wouldn't change a thing. That's the honest truth. It's time to go back into the ballroom, see how they set the tables up, and make sure that they've done it the way I asked them to. There's also going to be some speakers set up, although the decorations are going to be the same as for the party the night before. As we're walking out of the kitchen, he holds the door for me, and I wait for him as I have every time. This time, though, when he catches up to me, his fingers slip into mine, and before I know it, he's holding my hand. It feels perfect. I look up at him, and he's studying me, like he wants to know what I think about this. I think he can tell from the expression on my face that it's absolutely perfect.
Let's go,
He says softly, and I'm disappointed. I thought we were having a moment, and I thought that perhaps there would be a kiss. I shake my head. I'm supposed to be working. We walk side by side to the door. He opens it, and we step in. But he's holding my hand and stops in the doorway, causing me to stop too. He looks up, and my gaze follows his.
Wow, what do you know? Look at that.
There's no surprise in his voice, just humor, as we both stand staring at the mistletoe that's over top of us. A warmth starts in my chest and spreads out through my entire body. I know he did this on purpose, and he knows I know. I don't need mistletoe to want to kiss you, I whisper.
I don't need it either,
He murmurs as he slowly pulls me toward him. I go willingly.
I want more than kissing.
He continues, and my throat goes dry.
I want your laughter, your smiles. I want to know that I have the right to be beside you. I want to be able to watch you and not care about who sees me and what kind of admiration I have in my eyes when I look at you. I want you to continue to teach me how to be a better person.
I'm learning that from you. I can't help but interrupt him.
Then maybe we can learn from each other?
It's a question, and I'm nodding before he's even done. I will, and I want all of that with you. My voice is soft as well, and I don't know how it happened, but I have one hand wrapped around his neck, and I'm tugging as he puts a hand around my waist and pulls me closer. I run my other hand up his back, and his head lowers. This time, there's not a crowd of people watching us, but I don't have any more awareness of that now than I did before. I just know how perfect and right and beautiful it is, and I know I found the man that I want to spend the rest of my life with. Not today. We don't need to talk about that today. But this isn't a throwaway mistletoe kiss. It's making a mistletoe mishap into a relationship that lasts a lifetime.
Hi, this is Jay, and thanks for listening. If you're ready for another great Jessie Gussman audiobook, here's one we think you might like. Or check out our latest releases. Don't forget to subscribe to Say with Jay, give this video a thumbs up, and tell us what you liked in the comments.